Hey guys, welcome to our channel. So, we're taking a break from our regularly scheduled decode here. I know I've been doing that a little bit lately, but it's fine. There ain't a whole lot of people following the decodes, um, so whatever. But that prompted me to uh, do this video in the first place. And the question, of course, what is the Mandela effect? What is it? Well, most people think it's this: standing changed to dancing. Mamwich changed to Manwich. And Led Zeppelin's Stairway to Heaven, gold changed to stone. And in the Big Lebowski, rug changed to carpet, and there's no car alarm anymore. And that goes on and on. Other effects. But if you think that standing changed to dancing, and that's what the Mandela effect is, if you think Manwich changed to Manwich, and that's what the Mandela effect is. If you think gold changed to stone, and that's what the Mandela effect is. If you think rug changed to carpet, and there's no more longer a car alarm in the movie and the Big Lebowski, and that's what the Mandela effect is. If that's what you think, you're wrong. You're just wrong. Standing changed to dancing. The actual changes are STC. Manwich changed to Manwich. The actual changes are an M changed to an N. Gold changed to stone. The actual changes are GLDSTNE. And rug changed to carpet. Your changes are UGCAPET and car alarm. And if you think that's where it ends, you're wrong. You're just wrong. This is brilliant, though, because if they're hiding the truth in plain sight, most people are going to say standing changed to dancing, and that is where the Mandela effect starts and stops. Manwich to Manwich, and that is where the Mandela effect starts and stops. Gold to stone, where the Mandela effect starts and stops. Rug to carpet and no car alarm, and that is where the Mandela effect starts and stops. People are literally going to think that. And those that don't probably aren't going to care. So that's perfect. The answers are in plain sight. STC, MN, GLD, STNE, UGCAPET, and car alarm. All right. But that's not where it stops and starts either. What is the Mandela effect? The Mandela effect is a bottomless well of information. Whether you think a quantum computer did it, or whether or is making these calculations and causing these changes, or whether you don't, it doesn't matter. The Mandela effect, this is the fingerprint, and the information goes on and on, all the way through many, many conversions, decodes, tons of information, protein coding genes, the medical facilities, stock market companies, chemicals, stuff on the periodic table. And these conversions just keep going. These decodes could just keep on going. It's a bottomless well of information. And when you smash that all together, and this is not even half, this is not half. It goes from here to here. This is not half of the information. And let's just see if I can okay. Nope, it didn't work. So let's cut it off here. There you go. And this is just a small portion of what's really there. This can be not only ran in categories to get tons of information in many different orders, it can also be used to write tons of equations or one giant equation. Even simple equations. 1 plus 3 is 4. 1 plus 4 is 5, and you'd have 4, 5 there, which is what you have here. But you could add these numbers up. 1 plus 3 is 4, plus 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9, plus 4 is 13, plus 5 is 18. So then you'd have 18. Those are just simple ones. These are more complex, like these equations you could write with the letters and the numbers. The Mandela effect is literally a bottomless well of information. Whether you think a quantum computer is responsible or whether you don't is almost immaterial. No matter how you look at it, it's a bottomless well of information. And equations and calculations. And it goes on and on and on. The brilliance of it is most people wouldn't notice it. Most people would just think, well, stand and change to dancing, and there's the Mandela effect. Period. Most people wouldn't contemplate anything beyond that. And those that would, like me, most people wouldn't care or follow along, which, I mean, that's accurate. Most people aren't following along. Some of you are, and pat yourselves on the back. You guys have a way better understanding of the Mandela effect than a lot of people. And a lot of channels would, even if they knew, what was really going on, even if they knew that the Mandela effect was a bottomless well of information from one effect alone, many channels would take advantage of the fact, and this isn't a knock on anybody, but many channels would use that and just point out the changes because that's all most people care about. Why? I don't know. It's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. The idea that something changed in reality is kind of mind-boggling by itself, and most people would end it right there. Even if somebody got this far, most people would end it right there. We took a chance. We didn't do that. And now we've discovered that this well goes on and on and on. And this is only a very small portion of the letters and numbers that could be ran through the categories and then converted into equations. STC, same thing. Absolutely the same thing. So here's that whole line of letters and numbers. This is different than this up here. So these letters and numbers are different than these letters and numbers. So the Mandela effect is a bottomless well of information and code and calculations and equations that could go on and on. And most channels would not cover that. And even I feel overwhelmed at the prospect. I can cover what we're covering, and most people don't care. Why? I don't know. Your reality's changing. Why would you not care why? That doesn't make any sense. Most people are content that it just to say that it's changed, and that's what's the latest thing that changed now? And that's brilliant if you're hiding the truth in plain sight, knowing that most people simply won't care, and those that do, nobody will. I don't want to say follow them, but most people won't watch. Most people won't get into the meat of what's really going on, and that's perfect for the people doing it. And people with bigger platforms, bigger channels, they're going to do what gets them views and subscribers, and that's going to be to point out the effects themselves, period. And maybe offer a theory as to why, but not necessarily back that theory up with evidence. So that's the Mandela effect. I can say that with great confidence. It's a bottomless well of information that we can't get to the bottom of, but we could get a lot farther if I was a little better at math, and I could do some of the equations, or even some of the simple ones, or a bunch of simple ones. I guess I could do a bunch of simple ones, but there's more complex equations, and I can't get into those. I'd spend an eternity trying to decode it all, even as far as this is. Even to here, even this, even this series of letters and numbers, if I were to jumble them around like we did STC1, that ended up being an STC1 gene. Even to get through this forwards and backwards would be a challenge. It'd take a while. We're running into the same. We're going to run into the same thing with the South America. We already started that, and that's a pretty long. I was just looking at that in my notebook the other day, and that's a very long series of numbers. To start with, that's the fingerprint. That's what sets it apart. So that is the Mandela effect. It's not something changed to something else. It's not something doesn't exist anymore. No, it's a bottomless well of information. And again, we don't think quantum computers is causing all of the changes. And it doesn't matter if you think quantum computers are causing the changes or if you don't. The fact of the matter is that's what's there. And most people simply don't care. So those of you that do care, congratulations to you, for real. You actually give a shit why your reality is changing around you. Not just care that it is. And that's what I'm seeing a lot. There's a lot of people just don't care why. They only care that. So anyway, I think I'm going to let this video go at that. And and the gematria connections. Those are important as well. I know I said I was going to let this video go at that, but the gematria connections and what's in here, what's in this initial extractions, could be the most important bit for us, because that's the fingerprint, and that's where we've been finding the potential quantum network users, and that makes sense, because after that, you just got a whole bunch of calculation points and equations. So, and that's probably not going to be the case for all of them, but I think a fair number of them, of the effects, are going to come down to that bottomless well of information. And if somebody could get to the bottom of it, which we couldn't because it's infinite, if you could get far enough into it, you could figure out what was really going on, what they were really calculating. I don't know that we could, even if we got far down the well, I don't know if you could figure out exactly what their calculation was, exactly what they were trying to figure out. But you could have a whole lot of information and data to go through, and you might be able to come up with a decent guess. All right. So that's going to be it for now. So for now, guys, thanks for all your thumbs up, thumbs down when appropriate. Thanks for all your comments, leads, feedback, and subscriptions. And thanks for watching, guys. And for now, you guys have a great rest of your day.